Okay, so I'm back. I need to not care at all about what I look like. I need to finish saying what I needed to say because I'm doing it again. I actually had good things that I needed to say. So this time last year, my friend was in town. My best friend was in town. She's getting ready for her wedding. As I was saying, I don't get out much. Okay, let me just, okay. We were living, we were staying at a friend's house, one of Danny's friends, between like finding a place to live. We didn't have anywhere to go yet. I mean, we had not found another place. We had to move out of the apartment, whatever. So we're living in like their guest room, like a room. Like we're living in a room, like us and our 2 dogs, and our dogs are humans. So we're staying there, and this is like a Sunday morning. She texts me that morning. She's like, hey, this is like very last minute. We're going to be in the restaurant. Like the one in Baton Rouge is closed for construction or whatever. So we're going to be in the one in Denham Springs. Like very much like not because you live around the corner. It just so happened that we were going to be at the one right around, literally around the corner from where you're staying. They didn't know that, but yeah, so like, so, you know, if you wanted to come, like, and it's literally right around the corner. So as I'm getting ready that morning, like I remember telling my boyfriend, I was like, this is so unlike me. Like I'm not having any anxiety. Like this is very spur of the moment, which I can roll with the punches, you know. Do I like to have everything planned out? Yes. Does it often lead to more anxiety attacks? Yes. Does the build up make it even more likely? Yes. But regardless, but anyway, so I was like, dude, like look at me, like I just got dressed and like had 0 meltdowns. Like I'm living out of a suitcase. At an all-time low. Like I don't feel good about myself in any sense, like inside, out, anything. I'm like, and this was like a spur of the moment, like you're not coming for no reason, but whatever. And I just got dressed in like got dressed and like makeup and everything in like 30 minutes and like ready to go out the door. Like that's crazy. Like that's very unlike me, you know, but like good for me. Now, with that being said, at the time, my security blanket, because I usually have one, at the time, it was a sequin kimono, like, thing, like, duster thing, that I got the year before, like, the previous December, I had got, for our office Christmas party. There's, like, honking the horn outside. See, I told you, wide awake. It is actually 5:40 in the morning on a Saturday morning. And I'm literally, I'm like that lady at Target at the checkout line. I'm matching their energy, you know? Like, come at me crazy, like, what are you, Lindsay, like, what are you doing up so late? Bitch, what are you doing up so late? I have it on camera, so it don't even matter. Actually, I don't know because it said that I was out of storage, but whatever. The guy's like, literally, the ice cream man. Like, this dude was petting my dogs earlier today. He, every now and then, drives around an ice cream truck. Like a, I don't know the ice cream song. But, like, once every, no rhyme or reason to it, right? But, like, he's the ice cream man. But he lives in our neighborhood. But he pets the dogs. And I tell him thank you. Because I'm like, you know what? The odds of you breaking in our home and wanting to steal our TVs and like the dogs trying to stop you, but they're not going to stop you because you petted them one time, like very unlikely. The odds of my dog freaking stroking out, trying to chase you down the fence line because he wants attention so desperately, pulling a hamstring or stroking out in the process, like that's a lot more likely. Our dogs are not guard dogs. You know, I've said this for years. The last thing I worry about is somebody breaking into our house and stealing anything in our house. If you want to steal something from me that's valuable, it's like my peace of mind. It's my sanity. And it's locked up pretty tight, you know, which I think is part of the problem right now, you know, But the thing is, I have always had things to say about people. I believe, I'm learning now, there's a part of me that just, people feel like it just cuts right through to the very core of them. And it makes them feel real uncomfortable. Especially when I get a YouTube channel that nobody subscribes to. And I'm just on here, blah, 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 blah. They never know what I might say, right? I don't know. That's what it seems like. But all I really want to say is shame on you. If you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, don't do it. I know. I've known for years now. If someone has some valuable information, there's two ways to keep it a secret. If someone knows something about you, or in general, that you don't want people finding out about, you can keep people from finding out, or keep it from coming out, if you will, in a few ways. Some of them more legal than others. I think probably not the most effective way, it's probably the messiest way. But also, I think these people get some satisfaction out of it, is making the person seem crazy, taking away any credibility that they have in society. Tearing them down, tearing down their credibility, tearing down their image, tearing down, it's whatever you want to call it, smear campaign, gaslighting, witchcraft, tomfoolery, whatever you want to call it. When you make a person look crazy, you almost get some entertainment out of watching them go, hey, everybody listen to me. I got something to say. Let me tell y'all what these people are doing. And then they go, isn't she crazy? Wasn't she just, That's one way to do it. Obviously, the other way is a little more permanent. I mean, there are other ways. You can blackmail, threaten them. You can intimidate them. Or, like I said, you could just not do the things that you're doing that you feel shameful about. I like that way best. But the thing is, I don't want to out anybody. You know who they are? This is my favorite. I'm never going to stop saying this. Do you know who they are? Do you want me to let you in on a little secret? They are all of us. They're all of us. They. You and I have been they before. The Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, and that is true. And it's a dang good thing, because if it were flesh and blood that we were wrestling against, the side that you were on, I guarantee you would change more than you would ever want to admit. You do things every day that are helping the enemy. I do too. The closer I get with God, the more I pray and the more I try to be in the spirit, because I feel like it's the dumb shit that we do all the rest of the time. It's just little things. You're not going to hell for it if you if you repent, if you ask God for mercy and forgiveness, if you change your ways, if you ask for forgiveness, if you let God be your savior and your life, and you give your heart and your life and your soul and your everything to Him, you're fine. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's like a football game. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even started. Anyway, you might be on the winning team, but how many of your teammates are going to have to get freaking slammed because you're out there sleeping on the field? It matters. It matters. That's why I'm going to start talking more. But I'm not going to talk about the things that it makes it seem like I'm going to talk about. I don't have time. The Bible does say for everything done in the darkness should be exposed into the light. But it also says fix your eyes on what is above, because what is above is eternal and what is seen is temporary. Like, I don't want to fixate on that. I want to do my best not to contribute to people's evil behavior. I want to show them that, oh my gosh. I want to show them that it's never too late to change your ways. But more than anything, I just want to show them a little bit about who God really is. That I want to be a person that, okay, so that's where I was going with this. So, I go to brunch this Sunday morning after saying, this is so out of character for me. Like, I didn't have a meltdown at all. Like, I just got dressed. That's where I was going. Okay, so I had like the gold sequin duster on. Gold sequin duster, right? Full length. I had on a black top and black pants. I might have even had these pants on, as a matter of fact. Black top, black pants, nothing special. Gold sequin duster over it. And I had butterflies all in my hair. Butterflies. All in my hair. Like, I'm talking like resting upon a flower. Okay, so I have flowers in my hair too, but I feel like even that's not the main point. Like, yes, there were flowers. Yes, some of the butterflies were gently resting on the flowers, but some of them were like up and out and about and like almost seemingly like in the air. I had butterflies all in my hair, okay? Now, even that was done like very spur of the moment. You know, I was like, oh, black little tank, black pants, black boots, a little bit of sequin, a little bit of glitter, because, you know, feeling depressed, but I'm actually excited because I'm like, anyway, I'm like, ooh, like I've had these butterflies. Like, I'll just put these butterflies in my hair. So I did. So I went to brunch. Brunch seemed to be lovely to me. It did. I thought it went great. My boyfriend dropped me off. He picked me up. That was that. Well, I was not in the wedding. That's a whole different deal. Yada, yada, yada. Earlier this year, like in February, Ashley, my friend, y'all, I just have to be careful because I have so many followers. I am a celebrity and that's my choice, but I don't want to bring my people into this, you know, without their consent. Like, it's not fair. Like, if they don't want to be celebrities, you know, anyway. So that's a very common name. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Do not harass her the way y'all harass me. So anyway, so I'm at a crossroads in my life. Things had not gotten better by any means from that period, but you know, they were different. Circumstances were different. I was at a weird place in my life. And I just saw that, you know, she had been like very strategically posting wedding photos, like not just like what you would think, like somebody that like, I just got married, like here's all the photos and like here's the photo dump, or like whatever people say that have lives, I don't know. It wasn't like that. It was like very subtle. It was almost like it's almost like if you robbed a bank but you couldn't spend the money. It was like I think that if I spend like a little money today, like they won't notice. Like maybe if I just like put like change my profile picture just like one time, you know, or just put a few, like change my cover photo, whatever. Like it was like that. But it was very clear that she had a wedding. It was very clear that she had a wedding, like a full-blown wedding, a beautiful wedding, but a wedding nonetheless. So I text her and I'm like, why did you uninvite me to be in your wedding? Because you asked me to be in your wedding. Then you got married, it seems like, behind my back. And it seems like you went out of your way to make it seem like you weren't going to have people in your wedding, but like everybody was in your wedding. And it's not that I'm so hurt that I got kicked out of your wedding, but like in a very like weird way. I'm hurt that you felt like you couldn't come to me and talk to me. I'm hurt that you couldn't come to me with whatever your reason is, because I'm sure you have a good reason. I don't know what it is, but I'm asking you. Because I hate that our friendship is as close as we are, as much as we've been through in our lives. Like, I hate that you couldn't come to me and be like, this is why I don't want you to be in my wedding, you know? So she wrote back, because this is text message, and I ended up just calling her. We ended up talking, which was great, you know? Because as you can imagine, like text messages, whatever. But I didn't want to bombard her, you know, because I do kind of like attack things head on, you know, and like that's kind of weird for people. But if there's anybody that can handle it, it's her. And she did, like a champ. And that's why we're best friends. But anyway, so she texts back and says this: the last time I saw you at brunch, you know, and this is like her and her friends, general consensus. Lindsay, I don't know what to say to you. We don't know if you're on drugs. We don't know if you're depressed. We don't know if you have an eating disorder. We don't know what it is. What is it? And I was like, well, I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is all of the above. The good news is none of them very major at all. As a matter of fact, I would say barely an issue with any of them. Do I do drugs occasionally? Yes. Do I cry in the shower almost daily? Yes. Am I highly underweight and really not sure if that's a offset of the A and B or my genetics or my dehydration? I don't know. The good thing is, though, the good news is I have experience with all three of these. And I can tell you, you would much rather a little, like dipping your toe in each of these a little, rather than just full on swimming in the deep end in one of the three. And I'll tell you this too. I can't speak for anybody else, but when it comes to me, the worst thing you could do if you think I'm a drug addict, or if you think I'm bulimic or anorexic, or if you think I'm depressed, the worst thing you can do is shut me out of your life. And I'm so glad that I talked to her head on about it. Because, you know, she was telling me, because her friends who have a problem with me, apparently, because everybody has a problem. Not everybody has a problem with me. Let me take it a step back. Actually, let me take a breather for a minute, because this is heavy. It's only been 18 minutes. It's heavy. It is. It's heavy stuff. You know? Because she was telling me, like, her friends were like, you know, she can't even afford a freaking plane ticket, you know, to get here. And I'm like, but that's true. Because I need to grow up. Because I've made choice. I just said that earlier. Like, I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of the fact that her friends were right. Our friends are right. I wouldn't have been able to be in the wedding, most likely. I wouldn't have. Let's be honest. I would not have been able to be in the wedding because at almost 40 years old, I am still not in a place financially where I could even swing that. That's true. I don't know if I should go into more detail about that. I don't know if that's something where I need to defend myself or not. I will say that I've made decisions. I will say that even though I'm not proud of the fact that a year ago I could not financially swing going to my best friend's wedding across the country, I will say that it's not because I'm trying to make it financially in this world and I'm just not succeeding. It's because years ago I saw the give and take, and I chose one of either side on a lot of things. I don't want to go into more detail on it right now, but I also don't want it to seem like I don't have to defend myself, but I also don't want to be vague about it. Does that make sense? The fact is, while her friends were right, and while it is not my proudest moment to say that no, I would not have been able to afford the wedding dress or the plane ticket or anything else. Not just that, but that's really the only thing they're right about. Because, the thing is, like I said, I painted you a picture of what that day looked like leading into it. Before everybody saw me, where they apparently saw me and thought I was such a wreck that I had to be on drugs and depressed and have an eating disorder. I realized something today. I realized that people cannot figure me out. Because I have something that's very rare. And it offends people sometimes. It attracts people sometimes. It intrigues people sometimes. But it gets people's attention. So something that has been weighing very, very heavily on me. Something that has been weighing very, very heavily on me. I've came to a decision as of now. This might change. But as of now, not only am I not going to reveal all my deepest, darkest secrets in order to feel like I'm valid in sharing my opinion on my YouTube channel with 5 followers. Not only am I going to share my deepest, darkest secrets because otherwise I feel like I'll be a fraud or I'll be a hypocrite. Also, I'm going to say this. From now on, don't come up to me asking me if I'm on anything. When did that become okay? And I want to know if that's a thing in my neighborhood or all over the place. Because I'll tell you something that's been eating me up all day. Yesterday, I had a really good conversation with a person. A neighbor that I'd never met. We had a really good conversation. And as he was walking away, because I understand, I get it. He told me that he's a recovering drug addict. I'm saying that because it's relevant. As he was walking away, I said, it was very nice to meet you. It was very nice talking to you. I look forward to talking to you again in the future. He said, hey, do you do anything? Like, do you smoke weed or? And I said, no, my boyfriend does, but why is that okay? It's not okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's not okay. I'm realizing right now that I'm saying this. This is not like it's live on my channel or anything. But if I post this onto my channel, that's like even worse than saying it to the neighbor, being like, no, I can't believe that I told this one guy this about my boyfriend. I'm going to have to edit this. Or I'm going to have to get his consent first. I'm going to have to think this through because it's difficult. Because the point that I'm trying to make is that when did we start just asking people what kind of drugs they do? Because this is my thing. I don't claim to always handle situations right. I don't. I know that I don't. But once I see that I've handled a situation wrong, I'll be damned if I let somebody catch me off guard again and I make the same mistake again. I will get it drilled into my brain, my response, so that the next time it happens, I will handle it the right way. See, because I don't think people always have malicious intent. However, I will say that the questions that I had for the guy, I'll just go ahead and say it. I'll just go ahead and lay it all out there, okay? Well, I don't want to be vague. Our friend that died in jail, it was very unclear to me, and what I thought to everybody else, it was very unclear the circumstances, the details surrounding his death. He went to jail. Like 2 days later, he was dead. He's like a 30-year-old, very healthy man with no pre-existing conditions to my knowledge or to his, I don't know. I felt very strongly about the entire situation because two things. Number one, people need to be held accountable. However, it could have been a messed up situation, and this could be a reason for people to hate cops even more. Cops are not all crooked. You know, people make mistakes. Either way, the truth needs to come out. But it needs to come out because if the cops aren't crooked in this situation, that needs to be put out there too. But I believe it or not, I know how to stay in my lane. I felt very hurt on a personal level. I felt very hurt that society, I don't agree with society ever, but this was one time that I really, really wish I could have seen this situation the way society would see it, and that's another deadbeat drug dealer dead, leaves a bunch of kids that he probably never had a relationship with anyway. Big deal. What's new? But that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. And regardless of what happened, this man was a good father. This man was a good father. And it's hard. I can't speak on things that I shouldn't speak on things that I don't know all the details of. But it felt important to me to find out more information. Because no one is that bad. Our cops, Livingston Parish Sheriff's deputies, are not all horrible. I just can't believe that. I don't believe that. And I don't believe that we live in a time where a person goes to jail for being pulled over, supposedly, allegedly, whatever, drugs in the vehicle, and then dies, and we say, well, that's what you get for being a drug dealer. No, it's not. It's actually not what you get for being a drug dealer. You know? So anyway, so my point is this. So my boyfriend told me a while back, I'm pausing for a minute.